Good morning. My name is Rob Thacker. I'm the music director here at St. John's. It's good to be here with you all. If you would rise and body your spirit as we sing our gathering hymn for this month, hymn 349, We Gather Together.
I think you've already seen the announcements and you have them in your order of service, but I just want to highlight that the Covenant Development Team is seeking your ideas and input, and all the information about how to get involved is in your order of service. Circle suppers are back. If you have any questions, see Mary Lynn. 3 steps, and the last one is the best. Eat and be merry. So keep your eye on the 3rd step. Found Home, St. John's will again host 4 families, so all the information is about that. Forum presentation package event, all the information you need to know is there in your order of service. And the last thing, I want to draw your attention to something new, and that is our membership co-chairs, Nancy Henry and Debbie Combs, have a new system for welcoming folks. So in those front, those little pockets on some of the seats and at the welcome table, you'll see yellow or fuchsia connection cards. Nancy's right back there and she's holding one up in case you're confused. It just provides you with a way to let us know of your interest. And if you'd like to fill one of those out and hand it to somebody, leave it on your seat, leave it at the welcome table when you leave, you will then, someone from the membership committee will reach out to you. We do not nag you. We do not nag. There will be a reach out to see what you're interested in, and then after that, it's up to you. So I just want to draw your attention to that. Thank you. As we light the chalice this morning, we will recite Come Into This Place by William Schultz. Come into this place of peace, and let its silence heal your spirit. Come into this place of memory, and let its history warm your soul. Come into this place of prophecy and power, and let its vision change your heart.
Our opening words today are by Reverend Teresa Novak. Come into this place. There are healing waters here, and hands with soothing balm to ease your troubled days. Bring your wounds and your aching hearts, your scars too numb to feel. Your questions and complaints are all welcome here. Rest a while. Let the warmth of this community surround you, hold you, love you, heal you. When you feel a bit stronger, just a bit, notice those who need you to. They are here. They are everywhere. Weep with them. Smile with them. Work with them. Laugh along the way. Pass the cup. Drink the holy fire. Take it with you into the world. We are saved, and we save each other again, again, and yet again.
Welcome to everyone on this beautiful Sunday morning at St. John's Unitarian Universalist Church. My name is Gay Glasscott. I am your worship associate today, and always feel much joy serving with Reverend Jenn and with Rob. It is probably not by chance that you arrived here today. Perhaps you have been searching for something you weren't quite sure how to name it: a yearning, a calling, a hope for more or something different, a void, an emptiness. I offer this for your consideration. Maybe it was a desire for a place of belonging and caring. Through your search, which led you to St. John's, you may have felt some challenges, struggles, sorrows, emptiness, and so you began seeking a beloved community, a community that holds its arms open to the possibilities of love, empathy, and connection. St. Johners know that caring involves much more than feeling love, concern, and empathy for others. It depends on the next two critical steps. First, acting on that concern, and then secondly, demonstrating commitment to move forward. Our hope is that you might just find what you've been searching for here at St. John's with us. You are welcome, you are valued, respected, and you are loved. I'd like to end my welcome with a very personal reflection, especially relevant, given our themes for today. Today would have marked my mom's birthday, and the very same day that she chose to die, November 16th. Dorothy Oming Glasscott was born in 1907. She rarely attended church, but she was surely a woman of great empathy, caring, and understanding. I witnessed it every single day of my life, within our home, our extended family. I witnessed it in our neighborhood and our whole little small Indiana town. She was always reaching out and gently pulling back in. That's precisely what happens at St. John's. We always reach out, and then we gently pull back in. Welcome.
I invite you to rise and body your spirit as we'll sing hymn 142, Let There Be Light, and Stephen will play through it one time for us.
Please join me in our affirmation. This is the mission of our faith, to teach the fragile art of hospitality, to revere both the critical mind and the generous heart, to prove that diversity need not mean divisiveness, and to witness to all that we must hold the whole world in our hands. Anne, will you join us? Thank you.
Hello, good morning. I'm Ann Schur, and I'm here representing Caring Circle. Caring Circle is a team within the St. John's community which helps connect members and friends during times of change and crisis. Examples of this are meals during a convalescence, a ride to a medical procedure, a supportive card after a loss, or hospitality during a memorial service. We do this by linking people with other St. John's members and friends who volunteer to help out. It's a short-term assist, which offers support but is not intended to be long-term involvement. For longer-term needs, Greater Cincinnati community resources are suggested. Many long-term members are well aware of Caring Circle and have helped and have been helped, but newcomers may not be. Current members of the team are Nina Tolley, who is retiring after long years of service to our community. Kathy Laufman, Sharon Loeb, Ann Schur, and Peggy Judy. Peggy is our card sender. So if you've gotten a card, it's probably come from Peggy. The way it works currently is that people who need a short-term assist contact a member of the team who then sends out an email to a group of possible helpers. Those available respond. Those not available delete the email. There's no record keeping or pressure to help out. The team is considering some changes. We are aware that the St. John's UU Facebook page is used informally currently to communicate needs and get help. We think that's great and are looking at ways to move towards Facebook being the primary way for people to connect. Anyone who has ideas about this is welcome to contact us. The team organizes volunteers. The team also organizes volunteers who offer hospitality during member memorial services. We are considering moving to this being the primary role of Caring Circle, which will likely entail a name change. We are looking for new members, new volunteers, and new ideas. Talk to Sharon Loeb or Kathy Laufman after the service if you have suggestions and if you would like to help. Thank you.
Speaking of caring, each week we make time in our service to ground ourselves in what we value, each other. Here at St. John's, we honor our joys and concerns by coming forward to place stones representing what we carry into the sand that represents the many and unique parts of our beloved community over all the generations it has existed. If you would like a joy or concern to be read, please leave them on the table. And if you're online, please enter it in the chat, and we will read those from the pulpit at the end. And we place our stones and light the chalice to represent all that unites this community: joy, concern, connection, love, hope. All right, we have a few spoken to share today. John Kachuba shares joy, that he is grateful for skilled medical professionals, the support of St. John's Friends, and virtually singing in the choir. Galen shares that he is reconnected with his best friend. Bridget says, my dear friend Ellen Maria Wood passed yesterday morning. I'm sorry to hear that. Maria was in the St. John's Choir and a member of UC Mountaineering Club, where myself, Joe and Jill Lampy, all first met. Oh, that makes a lot more sense. Joe and Maria were singing here when I first visited St. John's. Sorry for your loss. And Amelia shares a joy about the Vox Veritas concert Wednesday at 6:30, which I assume you're attending. You're singing in it? Oh, that's the joy. I invite you into the spirit of prayer meditation with these words by Kate Steinberg. Spirit of life, love that calls us to love, care that calls us to care, presence that calls us into presence. We give thanks that we have been brought together in this beloved place, this holy sanctuary, this sacred harbor where we bring ourselves as we are, in times of sorrow, in times of joy, in times of confusion, in times of fear, in times of clarity, in times of quiet acceptance. In our efforts to pay closer attention to our inner lives, to each other, and the world around us, may we notice divine essence today, however this essence expresses itself. May we cultivate presence and awe while we attune to the murmurs and shimmers within us and around us, whether it be the spark of a new idea, a vulnerable share from someone we love, or unexpected warmth from someone we don't know. May we continue to attune to what Reverend Howard Thurman called the sound of the genuine within ourselves. May we become quiet enough and still enough to notice the call deep within us that lures us toward what matters most. This call that lures us toward freedom and purpose. We ask for guidance and space and time to do just that, so we can lead the lives we feel most called to live. Today, we remember the people who paid close attention to us in our lives. These people have loved us into being through the way they witnessed us, the way they attuned to us, both strengthened us and transformed us. There may be only one person we think of who has done this for us throughout our lives, and we give thanks to them today. We say, thank you for witnessing me. Thank you for paying close attention to the stirrings of my heart. We also consider someone who may want to be witnessed by us. Perhaps this is someone we haven't been able to make time for, someone we love who dearly wants our attention. May we find a way to say, I'm here with you. I'm paying close attention to the stirrings of your heart. May we continue to cultivate the practice of paying close attention so that more people feel lovingly held in our hurting world. And may we meet this moment and all the moments ahead with spaciousness and presence. May we deeply and lovingly witness the person in front of us, beside us, and within us. Amen. Today, for our Story for All Ages, we're going to show a video, and people are welcome to either watch it in there or come out and watch it. But before we start, I want to give you just a brief update about where we are with children's religious education. We'll put more in the upcoming e-news as well. So what a team of people, including quite a few of the parents, and I and the board decided to do was implement what's called Spirit Play. And Spirit Play is a really exciting curriculum. It's Montessori-based. It teaches through storytelling, and you know how much I like storytelling. So it teaches lessons about Unitarian Universalism. There's also lessons about world religions. There's lessons about a variety of things, and it meets everything that we heard people asking for when we had that big meeting. You remember with Reverend Sierra Marie? Well, we heard people asking for what they wanted with children's RE. Spirit Play meets this. So look for more details in the e-news. We are hoping to be able to roll that out to start doing that in January. There's still some setup and prep work that needs to be done to be ready to start that curriculum, including training people to lead it. We are also very close to being ready to put all the information about OWL out there. Marie Anonali has been working incredibly hard as our representative on the OWL development team. And they have a plan. I'm just not solid enough on the details to share it with you, so she will do that. And so we expect it to be OWL. Thank you. OWL, for those of you who don't know, thank you, Anne, is Our Whole Lives. It's the sexuality education curriculum that, Marie might come and share a word or two about it real quick. Sure. She's here. I hadn't seen her, so.
Good morning. For those of you who don't know me, I am Maria Nonley, currently the OWL coordinator, and delighted to share that not only will OWL lessons be back for our children and youth, but we have an ambitious plan to have classes for grades 4 to 6 at First Church starting in January. Grades 7 to 9 right here at St. John's, also starting in January. And senior high OWL, grades 10 to 12, will be hosted by Heritage. So, out on the east side.
Starting in January?
Starting in January.
Just a guess.
So, in order to make that happen, we do need to have the required parent orientation in December, which I know is less than ideal with a lot going on at that time, but there's no way around it. So if anybody is interested in more information, I will be here after service. I invite you to stop and say hello. Also, in the past few newsletters and a new email, OWL coordinator at St. John's has been posted. You're welcome to email me with any questions or concerns. Anything now that I missed?
Thank you, Marie.
Okay, good. Thank you very much.
We have, back to overarching RE, we have formed a small ad hoc team that I'm working with to keep things going, to figure out exactly how we want to roll out implementation. If you're thinking, that sounds like a really cool thing for me to be involved in, reach out and let me know. If you want to be on the list of people who are just getting more regular updates than you all have gotten, let me know about that too. I'll put you on that separate list. You may notice that progress has been made in Rosa Parks. One of those steps has been cleaning out and decluttering Rosa Parks, even more than the decluttering team did very recently. So that's been very exciting. We've had 2 sessions of that now. I haven't even seen it since the last one. And you probably have noticed we're working to involve families more in worship in a variety of ways. So lots of good things are happening. We also have a request. How many remember the gingerbread making parties? How many enjoyed them? How many want them to happen this year? That was a trick. Because we need people to take charge to make that happen. So if you are willing to be a lead, you don't have to do it by yourself. People like Mary Darner have a lot of information about how to make that happen. But if you're willing to be like the decider about when it happens and how we kind of reach out to people, please let me or Mary, she nods, so she's okay with that. I didn't prep her on that one. No, today if possible or early this week. And so we will see if we can make that happen. And for those of you who don't know, you'll have an opportunity to experience it. Now we are ready for the video. If anybody wants to come out here, they can. But you also have a TV. So.
Turtle Love, written by Renee Hills and illustrated by Anna Jacobson. Jacob Gordon Lachlan Brown loved waking up in his bouncy bed. He couldn't wait to go outside. Beyond Jacob's front yard, gentle waves slapped and smoothed the golden sand. Jacob loved the low-tide beach. He and his friends found mudskippers and starfish in rock pools. Soldier crabs left squishy sand mounds on the rippled flats where everyone played cricket and soccer. Squawking seagulls flashed overhead. Most of all, Jacob loved the warm summer nights when he and Mum welcomed some unusual visitors. Flatback turtles lumbered up from the sea and laid their eggs above the high tide line near the coloured rocks. Turtles have nested here for centuries, Mum said. Now, I don't know if they're going to survive. Why not? Asked Jacob. Mum pointed to a ship that was loading coal from the big piles on the shore. The ship's propellers churn the ocean floor. It makes the water dirty and the seagrass can't grow well, she said. Turtles and other sea creatures need the seagrass to live. Now there are so many ships. It's a big problem. Jacob looked at the ship and the many others waiting offshore. He looked at the piles of coal. He thought about the seagrass and the turtles. Jacob asked his favourite neighbour, Windella, about the turtles. Windella used to live on an island. She understood the sea and all its creatures. Yes, the flatback turtles are in trouble, she told Jacob. We must all do something to help them. For the rest of the summer and all the next winter, everyone talked about the turtles. Jacob, Mum and Windella talked to their neighbours and friends. They talked to the port manager. They talked to the scientists. The scientists talked to the government, the newspapers and TV. Finally, they had a plan. Next summer, on moonlit nights, everyone waited quietly on the beach. But the flatback turtles did not come. There were no tracks on the sand. There were no nests beside the coloured rocks. Jacob was worried. He talked to Windella again. Don't worry, Jacob, Windella said. If even one of those turtles is alive, she will come back. Come with me to the coloured rocks tonight and I'll explain. That night, Windella, Jacob and Mum sat together on the sand. The sea breathed quietly in and out and the rock colours blazed. A long time ago, Windella said, the first mother flat-backed turtle searched near and far for a place to make her nest. Then she found this quiet beach. It was perfect, so she laid her eggs. She wanted to leave a sign for her daughters so they would know to come here too, but there was not a stick or stone to be found, just this big pile of ordinary rocks. The turtle shrugged the beautiful pattern off her own shell and gave it to the rocks. To this day, mother flat-backed turtles know this beach by these coloured rocks. And when their baby turtles hatch, they all have the same pattern on their tiny shells. As they grow older, the marks disappear, Windella said. Jacob gazed at the rocks and then at the sea. "Look," he cried, "here comes a turtle now." The turtle shuffled up to the soft foreshore near the coloured rocks. She dug deep with her back flippers, and large white eggs rolled into the hole. "You are so wise and clever," Jacob whispered to the turtle. "We have stopped the ships from going near the best seagrass, and we will keep this beach safe for turtle nests forever." And the turtle closed her eyes slowly, as if in thanks. And that's the end of the story.
Do we have anyone that needs food picked up today? We do. So as we sing, if the kids would like to, you can come and collect food. Are by Reverend Erica Hewitt. The offering that we take each Sunday isn't just a stale habit. It's an opportunity to recommit to this place and to these people. Our offering is an affirmation, a yes. When we give, we say yes to something we value. With our gifts freely given, may we say yes to the values of this faith. May our offering help us practice Unitarian Universalism within and beyond our congregation as tools to empower our mission. St. John's is committed to creating a safe and caring community, working for peace and social justice, and celebrating beliefs that respect freedom of thought. Thank you for your offering today.
Thank you, Stephen. It was stirring. Beautiful. Well, good morning. Our reading today is Who Knows You by Reverend Kathleen McTeague. Some of the old New England graveyards are serene little pockets of neglect. Their slate tombstones lean at odd angles, and the elegant calligraphy is barely legible, spelling out obscure colonial names like Zebulon and Ozias. Some of the inscriptions that can still be deciphered tell poignant tales of sons and husbands fallen in long ago wars and young wives lost in childbirth. Clusters of brick-sized stones mark the deaths of children in some catastrophic winter. The engraved cries of lament, "Farewell, beloved daughter," evoke a tug of grief even now, though the people named have been dust and earth for 200 years or more. One of these graveyards in my town evokes a sadness of a different sort, held in the inscription on a modern tombstone marking the resting place of Franklin F. Bailey. He was born in 1901 and buried in 1988, so he lived a long time. His epitaph says simply, "Here lies a man that nobody really knew." What a strange message to leave echoing down through the years, and what a freight of sadness is held in that short phrase. It tells of isolation, loneliness, a life lived invisibly, a voice unheard. Here lies a man that nobody really knew. We circle around each other like small planets on which each of us is the only citizen. Spiritual practices are meant to turn us directly into that inner landscape so we can know it well and without illusion. But their larger purpose is to show us pathways to one another, because with practice, we come to know a bedrock truth of this human life. However, different each inner landscape is from the others. The same winds blow through us all. They are the words of longing and fear, doubt, hope, regret. No one is exempt. That simple recognition opens a deep well of compassion, both for our own struggles and for those taking place behind the faces that surround us all. I wonder about Franklin Bailey every time I walk through the little graveyard. I also wondered about the Franklin Baileys who walk among us, who today is living with a life of unremitting loneliness in my town, in my neighborhood, perhaps even in my own family. Before it comes time for a sad epitaph summing up their isolation, perhaps we can extend a bridge of compassion, allowing them to feel seen, heard, and touched to be known a little in the brief common walk of all of our lives.
The piece today is going to be given a little introduction by Laura Meyer. And I'm not conducting, in case you didn't notice. I'm singing, so it'll be great.
prayer. I don't know how to use this thing. Is it on? I don't know. Prayer of the Children was composed by Kurt Bester, he wrote the lyrics and composed the music. It was dedicated to the children who suffered during the Civil War in Yugoslavia in the I'm getting my dates mixed up, 1990s. Mr. Bester had spent time there in the 70s while completing a mission work and had become very close to the people. It's been performed often, including by Three Dog Night, which is sort of interesting. As we all know, the ravages of war continues today, with tens of thousands of children killed in Gaza and more thousands in the Ukraine. And of course, other parts of the world are affected, as well as children in the US affected by ICE raids. And of course, there's also, as you know, the oppression of poverty and other social maladies. The enormity of it all can be very difficult, if not impossible, to fully absorb and integrate this knowledge with our lives. So it might help a little to think about this anonymous quote, which is, living gratefully does not mean being Pollyannish or burying our heads in the sand. Gratefulness faces squarely that wonder and suffering live side by side, as do disaster and beauty. So here is some of the beauty.
Being the mother of a young daughter has led me to think more often about standards in our world, especially beauty standards. I know how damaging it is for people, especially girls, to be unable to live up to the impossible expectations our society has for them. To be surrounded by competing messages about the importance of having a certain body type, certain hair, certain skin, and the importance of having a positive body image. The idea of a positive body image gained traction when people began recognizing how we see ourselves matters. They wanted to promote a positive body image to eliminate shame, offer confidence, help people connect with one another, and improve mental health outcomes. But despite what the conflicting messages of advertisements might suggest, having a positive body image is not about being in denial about oneself or the culture in which one lives. It's not about believing you're tall when you're actually short, or about going out and buying the highest heels possible. It's not about believing you're blonde when you're brunette, or coloring your hair necessarily to make that possible. Now, there's nothing wrong with those choices, but having a positive body image doesn't require us to deny what is true. Positive body image is about seeing and celebrating the beauty that exists in who we really are. So you might wonder, what does this have to do with our life together as Unitarian Universalists? Why are we talking about this morning? The body has long been a metaphor for a church, a congregation. This is because even though we are all separate parts with different thoughts and ideas, we are one community together. In the Christian scriptures, Paul considered the church to be the body of Christ. The church was Christ's ongoing physical presence in the world. He wrote, "Just as a body, though one, has many parts, but all of its many parts form one body, so it is with Christ. For we are all baptized by one Spirit, so as to form one body, whether Jews or Gentiles, slave or free, and we were all given the one Spirit to drink. Even so, the body is not made up of one part, but of many. Now, if the foot should say, 'Because I am not a hand, I do not belong to the body,' it would not for that reason stop being part of the body." Don't worry, this relates, I promise. "And if the ear should say, 'Because I'm not an eye, I do not belong to the body,' it would not for that reason stop being part of the body. If the whole body were an eye, where would the sense of hearing be? If the whole body were an ear, where would the sense of smell be? But in fact, God has placed the parts in the body, every one of them, just as he wanted them to be. If they were all one part, where would the body be? As it is, there are many parts, but one body. The eye cannot say to the hand, 'I don't need you,' and the head cannot say to the feet, 'I don't need you.' On the contrary, those parts of the body that seem to be weaker are indispensable. And the parts that we think are less honorable, we treat with special honor. And the parts that are unpleasant are treated with special modesty." I have no idea what he's talking about right there, but maybe Al class for that one. But while our presentable parts need no special treatment, but God has put the body together, giving greater honor to the parts that lacked it. So there should be no division in the body, but that its parts shall have equal concern for each other. If one part suffers, every part suffers with it. If one part is honored, every part rejoices with it." So what does this look like for you youths? What does it mean to consider ourselves a body, a united physical presence of the sacred in the world? If you're a worship leader and not a board member, that doesn't mean you're not part of the body. If you're involved with chalice circles but are not on the social justice committee, that doesn't mean you're not part of the body. If you're a choir member but not involved with children's religious education, that doesn't mean you're not part of the body. Being a mission-driven organization, all these parts work together toward a common goal. And at the same time, just because you're not part of one area of the congregation doesn't mean the other areas are unimportant. The eye cannot say to the hand, I don't need you. And the head cannot say to the feet, I don't need you. We need our different ministries, even the ones we don't participate in directly, to be one church, one body. That's part of why we've started doing our ministry minute as a part of our service. If we think about ourselves as a body, what is our body image? How do we see ourselves? Do we see ourselves as alive and thriving with a common purpose and mission? Do we see ourselves as disconnected parts, different groups that share a building? How do we talk about ourselves? When we speak of our body and its parts, do we do so with honest appreciation? Are we comfortable talking about our body at all, at ease with sharing the good news of Unitarian Universalism and St. John's with other people? Do we see it as worth sharing and as worthy of our care? Our body image, how we see and think about and speak of ourselves, can have an impact on our willingness to commit to ongoing care. Several years ago, the Unitarian Universalist Association published a book called Church Works, a well-body book for congregations. The book draws on the metaphor of the body to look at what it would mean to be a healthy congregation. And the author uses the body metaphor in a way that's a bit different from how Apostle Paul did in the scripture reading. She uses different organs to represent different aspects of our church life together. For example, the brain represents our core documents, bylaws, policies, guidelines, etc. These are a frequent focus of our board and our congregational votes. The reproductive system is the development and spiritual growth of our members, our religious education volunteers, and our chalice circle groups do this very well. The liver is how we deal with congregational conflict. This is the area of our body that we have been working on with our covenant. But as with any body part, healing and growth are possible. And we've been working on understanding what it means to have conflict in our community. I've seen in the last year several of you working to remain calm and connected in the face of conflict, to understand it as normal and non-threatening, and to not let it derail from the broader mission and values of St. John's. The liver is there, and it's playing an important role. So what about other parts of the church body? The hands of a church are social action and worship, the visible ways we act together to create something new in our community every week. The heart is the ministry of love and care, ministry that is done partly by clergy and staff, but requires committed members of the congregation who provide support to those who are struggling, who identify ways to meet people's emotional and physical needs, to pump the lifeblood that will get them what they need. Here at St. John's, this is the vital ministry of the Caring Circle. And as Anne mentioned, all of you can be a part of the heart of St. John's. You can offer to do one or more of the ministry areas that she outlined. It's through the work of the heart that we keep every other part of the church body running. And the digestive system, any guesses? Not willing to risk it? Financial nourishment and stewardship. Here's what Anne says about that. Imagine you've been exercising all day, gardening, running, working hard. Hungrily, you sit down to the perfect meal. You're filled with appreciation. Wonderful aromas engage your senses, and you're grateful for the bounty before you. You are filled with anticipation. Your body will be nourished. You eat each bite, delicious and filling. Think about how the body takes food in, seeks the nourishing elements it needs, disperses them throughout the body, brain, heart, bones, and senses. When fed, the body prospers. And money is the nutrition for the congregational body. Without it, the body cannot sustain itself. Feeling hunger is the body's natural signal that work is being done and sustenance is needed. This is why I always encourage congregations to see pledging as a time of celebration. A church that isn't hungry, that doesn't need money because it has more than it's putting to use, that doesn't need ongoing resources to accomplish its work, is not a healthy living church. Anodin Heller's book includes many other body part metaphors: the ears, the skin, the feet, the white blood cells, and more. But there's one part she doesn't mention, and I suspect it's because we didn't know much about it 25 years ago when the book was published. This is a group of specialized brain cells in the body called mirror neurons. Mirror neurons are unique. Unlike regular neurons, they fire when we do something or we see something. Mirror neurons fire when we do an action and when we see somebody else do that action. They're a part of the brain that connects us to the experience of others so deeply that their experience on some level becomes our own. Have you ever found yourself tensing up when you watch somebody else carrying a heavy load? Yeah. Have you ever caught another person's laughter? Or winced when somebody else got hurt? These responses are controlled, at least in part, by our mirror neurons. Mirror neurons are a vital part of empathy, our sensitivity to the experience of others and our ability to come alongside them in that experience. Now, returning to our church body metaphor, where are the mirror neurons in our congregation? What brings us into deeper empathy, prompting us to understand the experience of others, and even helping us share a part of that experience? I would argue that the mirror neurons of this body are our stories. Stories we share about our own lives, stories we share about St. John's, stories from our Unitarian Universalist ancestors, and stories from the different sources that form our faith. As the mirror neurons of our church body, stories connect us in empathy with others, leading us to feel with them and compelling us to act with justice and mercy in the world. When we hear the stories of immigrants in our community, we don't just hear the facts. We're invited to recall what it feels like to be a stranger, to rely on the welcome and generosity of others. When we hear the stories of those who guided St. John's in the past, we don't just learn their names. We're invited to come alongside those ancestors, knowing, like them, what it feels like to consider the awesome possibility and responsibility of this church. When we hear the ancient stories from world religions, we don't just memorize the narratives. We're invited to experience the wonder of the original storytellers and sit with them as they ponder life's big questions. Of course, we can never fully understand another's experience, but when stories are shared, when our mirror neurons are firing, we're led to a deeper, more resonant appreciation of that experience. And that leads our whole body to respond. My beloved spiritual companions, we are, as the popular hymn puts it, gathered here in one strong body. Let us cultivate appreciation for this strong, living body. Let us tend to its areas of weakness, its wounds and tender spots. Let us commit to its care. And let us celebrate that this body is wired for deep connection to others. It's part of who we are. When we hear each other's stories, when we witness others' joys and concerns, we don't just passively receive. We share in the experience of others' lives, and we are compelled to respond. That is the power of empathy. May it be so. Amen. I want to invite you into a few moments of greeting your neighbor. Feel free to share a time when you cared for or felt cared for by someone. Clap 3 times. If you can hear this, clap 4 times. Sorry for cutting it short. We realized what time it was, so we want to keep things moving. I think Stephen's going to run us through one time, and right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Please rise. Hymn 292, If I Can Stop One Heart from Breaking, and Stephen will play the whole thing as the introduction once.
May empathy be the light we carry, soft enough to comfort, strong enough to guide. And as we meet the world again, may we kindle the warmth in one another. Go in peace, go in love. Amen.